Access control list part 3. To catch up with this video, you need to watch access control list part 1 and part 2. Now, talking about wildcard mask or the wildcard mask, the wildcard mask is reverse or the inverse of the subnet mask. For instance, by default, we have default subnet mask of 255, 255, 255, 255.0. Of course, this is default mask for class C. Then you have 255.255.0.0. This is for class B. And you have 255.0.0.0. This is for class C. Now, to get the derivative or the inverse of the subnet mask, you deduct a host mask. A host mask is /32. That is, you deduct the subnet mask from this host mask. If I deduct 255.255.255.0 from this host mask, what do you have? You have 0.0.0.255. This is the wildcard mask equivalent for class C subnets. Wildcard mask. In other words, the wildcard mask, it follows the bit pattern, that is string of ones followed by string of zeros. String of zeros followed by string of ones. I beg your pardon. For subnet mask, you have string of 1 followed by string of what? Zeros. But for wildcard mask, it is the reverse of that. The string of zeros followed by string of 1. So meaning the reverse or the derivative for class B subnet would be what? 0.0.255.255. And of course, the wildcard mask equivalent for class A would be what? 0.255.255.255. Now, in wildcard mask, 0 means exact match and 255 means ignore. So in other words, if I'm trying to capture, let's say I want to permit within the network 10.10.0 10.10.10.0/24. Obviously I have 254 clients there. Let's say I'm only trying to capture a particular IP address, which is 10.10.10.1. I only want to permit this IP address, a single IP address. Then I'll be attaching wildcard mask 0.0.0.0. This means exact match. So if I say permit now, if I say permit and I say permit 10.10.10.1 wildcard mask 0.0.0, it means exact match. I'm only permitting or denying, as the case may be, this only IP address. Now, what if I want to capture or permit or deny the entire network? Then in that case, what will it be? It will be permit or maybe deny or deny. You now say 10.10.10.0. The wildcard mask attached to this will be what? 0.0.0.255. Meaning the router takes a look at the first 3 octets. Why? Because of the exact match. Meaning it will only deny or permit clients with IP addresses 10.10.10. The last octet will be ignored. Meaning as much as your IP address starts from 10.10.10, you are going to be what? Permitted or deny, as the case may be. Now, because the way the router will process that is, the router will take a look at IP address, the first IP address and the last IP address within the range. For instance, if I had this wildcard mask to this network address here, you have 0.0.0.255. So adding it up, that gives you 10.10.10.255. 255. What does that mean? It means the router will permit or deny addresses within 10.10.10.0 to where? To 10.10.10.255. Okay, of course, because this is a network address and obviously this is a broadcast address, so you can't assign this to a host, you can't assign this to a host. So meaning the router will capturing IP address from .1 to .254. So now that you know how to capture a single IP address in a network and how to capture the entire addresses within the network, what if I only want to like single out just a group of IP addresses within the network? For instance, let's say in network this 10.10.10.0, I only want to only permit just IP addresses from 10.10.10, let's say .15 to 10.10.10.20. 15 to 20, that would be 5 IP addresses, I guess. No, 6. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that's 6 IP addresses. Then in that case, the wildcard mask, I'm capturing from here 15 to 20. In that case, my wildcard mask would be 10.10.10.15. The wildcard mask would be what? 0.0.0.5. If you ask me how, the same analysis, the router will add this wildcard mask to the first IP address you've quoted here. That gives you, that is 0.0.0.5. That gives you what? 10.10.10.20. So meaning the router will permit addresses from here, from 15 to where? To .20. So what if I want to capture addresses from, let's say, from okay, now let's say we have 10.10.10.0, but in this case the mask is not 24 now. Let's say the mask is 28. Now interpreting this 28, what does that mean? This 28 means 255, 255, 255, and what? 240. 4 bits in the last octet. So that's 240. So that's 28. Okay. Now, if you want to get the wildcard mask equivalence of this subnet mask, that will give you, that is, you deduct 255.255.255.255. That gives you what? That gives you 0.0.0. Dot what? Dot 15. Dot 15. So if I want to capture all the, how many clients do I have here? So if I want to capture all the clients within this network, then the wildcard mask we're going to be using will be 10.10.10.0 wildcard mask 0.0.0.15. Again, that will cover IP addresses from where to where? From 1.1 to .14, because again, you can't use the 10.10.10.0 because that is the network address, and you cannot use the 10.10.10.16. That's another broadcast address. You can't use .15. 15 is the broadcast address. 16 is another network address. okay, which is 16 is the second subnet. So 10.0 is the first subnet, 10.16 is the second subnet. So if 10.16 is the second subnet, it means 10.15 is a broadcast for the first subnet 10.0. It means you only have valid or host addresses from .1 to .15. So with this subnet mask, with this wildcard mask 000.15, so the router will be capturing from .1 to .14, and that represents all the host addresses within this first subnet. So that's how to use the wildcard mask to capture, a single system, a single host IP, or all the host addresses within the network, or to select group of addresses within that network. For instance, again, the last example, if I have 172.16.10.0/24, and I want to capture, obviously I have 254, and I want to capture the first, let's say I want to capture the first 25 IP addresses. Maybe you want to deny them or permit them. Then in that case, the wildcard mask will be 172.16.10.0. The wildcard mask will now be, .1. Okay, so the wildcard mask will now be 0.0. That is, I'm capturing from .1, .0, what? I said the first 25 IP addresses. So it will now be .24. Because eventually what the router will do is to add the wildcard mask again to the network address, and that gives you 172.16.10.1, this one here, plus 24. That gives you 25. So meaning the router will be capturing from 10.1 to 10.25. So whether you are not denying those clients or you are permitting that. So that's how to use the wildcard mask or the wildcard mask when you are setting up or configuring your access control list. So in the next video, we'll now be taking a look at the configuration proper. So we'll take a look at how to configure standard access control list. Now for the standard access control list, you have the named access control list and you have the numbered access control list. So in the previous videos, I'll be talking about the numbered access control list. For the name access control list, the purpose of the name access control list is just for administrative purpose. For instance, now imagine if you just say permits, and say 10, then whatever. So with this permits 10, access list 10 that you are seeing, you don't really know what I'm actually using that access list 10 to accomplish. Whether I'm actually using it to deny some hosts access to a particular server, or denying them access to another server. So you might not really know what this access control list is actually being used to accomplish. But if I do something like this, if I should represent or replace this number with a name, a friendly name, something that will give me an insight as to what I'm using the access control list to accomplish. Let's say I'm giving it a name, let's say web hosts, and I say deny. That is, this is the name I'm giving to the access control list. Instead of saying access list 10, if I'm giving it this name, it makes more sense to me. This tells me that, okay, probably I'm actually denying some clients access to our host, the web host. Okay, so it makes more sense if I'm seeing this than just seeing a number. So that's actually basically what the named access control list is being used for. So the named access control list also could be used for an extended access control list as well. So meaning for your standard access control list now, you could have the number version and the name version. Extended access control list as well, you could have the number version and the name version as well. Okay, so the next video we'll take a look at how to configure access control list given a particular task in our lab. So I hope the video has been informative, and I want to thank you for viewing.